that happened in your...
Why do you say bring up Elton John again?
Because I keep bringing him up. Yeah, you just didn't even
When did you bring him up earlier?
I've just been talking about him the whole time.
Did you? No.
Because I listen to Elton John a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched this one live video of him a lot.
I don't think you said that.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay.
That's okay. I can only be expected to be listened to 20% of the time.
What was wrong with Rocket Man?
Well, it's just he didn't write the lyrics, which they said, but then the whole movie was like trying to force these life events into the lyrics. So it was like, but he didn't write it. So he didn't write it. So it just wasn't, it didn't feel real. I would have rather have heard more shit about when he married that woman.
He married a woman?
Yeah, he married a woman.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How frustrated was she?
She must have been really horny. Just sliding around in there.
Oh, we didn't know.
She's very rich. But I think probably maybe it was just a beard situation. She knew.
Sure. But also,
there's got to be a lot of those.
There's a lot of guys that want to believe that they can be straight, you know?
That's why they buy the Whitney Cummings dick doll.
But that's where like that all pray the gay away stuff is.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of those pray the gay away camps where these guys are sitting around holding men with boners? They literally get hard-ons holding you and telling you you're not gay.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, what the fuck's going on back there?
It's fucking crazy. It's like, it's so wild to not be like, just lean into what you are, your happiness, your joy. You know?
Yeah, but think about yourself. You were raised a Quaker. What if you raised some wildly
You've been told that it's
Christian? You know, anybody who does that is a Satan
so
worshiper,
sad.
And you're going to go and burn in hell, and you live with all this guilt and
just
sin.
feeling like that shame that you're rotten or whatever. I mean, I definitely have my own shame, and I know probably everyone carries them with them. I can't imagine on that scale. That sucks.
That is probably one of the biggest ones if you're raised Christian. If you're raised like serious Christian, especially fundamental, you know, like it's one of the worst sins to lay with another man and just dealing with it.
The dick that they must get at those camps, though.
Oh my God.
I mean, they must just be pounding each other out.
They probably come so quick because I can't believe they're actually.
They're just like, yes! And then they have that camaraderie in the fact that they both are trying to not be this thing. Oh my God. I'm getting horny just talking about it, honestly. I have a new genre. It's not Bigfoot.
We have to work through this. I mean, I'm not gay and you're not gay, even though we just fucked.
I know, just crying in each other's gay arms.
What a sneaky trick. If you believe in God, that God did. God said, listen, you cannot have sex with men, but you're going to want nothing
really
but
gonna
that.
Want it.
You're going to want that all day.
You're going to see their juicy assholes all day.
You want it more than food. You want it more than water. You just want dick and butt. Dick and butt. Dude, dick, butt. Firemen and fucking cops and construction workers and Indians and cowboys.
And then a band's going to come out and they're all going to play each part and you're going to have to try to not fuck them. And then you can't even go to the YMCA anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if you really believe in Jesus and you really believe that you shouldn't be gay, but you are gay, what a dirty trick God has played on you.
Must be terrible. I just feel like there's nothing more dangerous than repressed. That's got to be where cancer, not just homosexuality, but repressing any sort of feelings like that.
Sure.
It's got to be what cancer is.
Well, repressed sexuality is always strange. Like when I was in high school, there was always these girls from Catholic school. And girls from Catholic school that went to all girls Catholic schools were the biggest hoes.
I know.
They could
Anal
not
doesn't
wait.
count.
They couldn't wait to get some dick because it was so forbidden. It was a forbidden fruit. They just would get so excited. They couldn't believe it was real. Just fighting off these hormones. It's just such a terrible trick to play on a young person.
Yeah.
To tell them that their body is dirty and awful and that these thoughts that are just prevalent, omnipresent in their mind are the wicked ways of the devil.
And that which you resist persists. You know, you're just thinking about that fucking butthole all day. Fucking sucking a dick.
Fat, cheesy, hard.
You just can't have it. Yeah, I mean,
it's terrible.
It's really bad. You guys,
it's also
if you're out there, listen. Let's just say, let God give you a hall pass. Go fucking asshole.
Yes.
Go fucking asshole. Go suck a dick.
Just move to Boys Town and realize like you're gonna be fine. There's a group of them. They get together and they have a great old time.
There's a parade.
They're so happy. If you go down that street,
West Hollywood is the happiest. It's so happy.
They're free.
They don't even, their shoulders are exposed. Like there's just tank tops everywhere, just hair shaved, anything you want, just every type.
welcome.
I love going. I feel invisible. It's amazing.
It
I
is,
love
you
walk.
are
I could just walk. I
invisible.
could walk bottomless, and they would just.
I talk to gay guys though, they get mad that straight guys and straight girls are going to gay clubs now to hang out. That it's like a weird thing.
Cultural appropriation.
Yes. Talk to Martindale.
Well, I could see
Martindale
where you'd
doesn't
be
like
like, hey, this was like our place to
Yes.
fuck, and now you're here, like, you're wearing glitter,
Yeah. Get the fuck
you're
outta
wearing
here.
rainbows. Remember, Dimitri Martin had that joke about where he's like, gays just get. I'm paraphrasing, but gays just get rainbows. That's not fair. You just get fractured light, like greedy gays. I mean, this is what back in the day when you could say stuff like that.
Yeah, I
But
had
that
a
was
bit
funny.
about that was pretty similar about that it was because of Duck Dynasty. One of the guys from Duck Dynasty was giving, I don't get it, I don't understand what gay, and my bit was like, listen, you should shut the fuck up, or the gay people will take over camo the same way they took the rainbow.
Oh, that's so funny.
They own the rainbow. The rainbow used to be leprechauns, used to be the Lucky Charms guy.
Yeah.
You know, now it's gay people. To the point where if I came on stage with a fucking rainbow T-shirt on, people
People
would
would be
go,
like, "Oh,
I
you're
knew
gay."
it. I knew it.
We've been waiting
Yeah,
for this
I
moment.
fucking knew it. But the idea was that if like what all the gay guys would have to do is start every gay porn in a duck blind.
Oh my god.
Every gay porn would start with
That's so funny.
they're wearing camo and they're duck hunting, and then someone would come in, a black guy would come in and go, something about duck hunting make me horny.
That like duck whistle thing. Oh my god. My friend Mike, who I stayed with, worked on Duck Dynasty, so he knows all those guys.
What is that?
That seemed like a trip.
Are they butt fucking all the time when no one's
I don't
looking?
think so, but you know, it is funny when you take just a family and then you make them stars,
Mm-hmm.
and they cross between reality and
Yeah.
all that stuff,
Well,
and then they go
that's-
crazy, and then they all of a sudden they're on their own and they get interviewed and they say something really crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when
The
you leave
minute
them
they're
alone.
not, yeah.
Some TMZ guy puts a camera in their face.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that show?
I don't think so.
How could they stop? It seems like it was just printing money.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, maybe they are. I know my friend doesn't work for them anymore.
Well, yeah, are
But he
they
was
still
the-
doing Duck Dynasty? Yeah, I don't know.
I give him the
how-
credit for Duck Dynasty, whether he wants it or not.
I don't know how that show.
Final episode, March 29th, 2017.
How does that show end ever? It feels like a smart producer should step in and go, "Hey guys, it's been a couple of years.
I don't
I'm
know,
Sure you've
someone-
had a lot of wacky stories."
Falls asleep with a cigarette in their mouth. I don't know. It's gone.
Yeah,
All that camo gone.
it's just, it's weird. Like you watch that show, it's like there's nothing compelling about it at all, but it was an enormous hit.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of people doing duck stuff.
There is something about reality TV though, where you're just like, it's so thoughtless. You just don't have to. You're just being taken on this dumb ride, and you're just like, "Bleh," you know.
Slackjaw.
It's nothing happening. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're watching people dissect a storage container. Like,
Yeah, but you know what I really like is Survivor. That one I still like.
Survivor.
I still like Survivor. I think is the
game
number
show.
one
Yeah.
reality show because it's making people. It's taking away all of their comforts, and they still have to communicate with each other, play games with each other. They have to. They're starving. They have to do these physical. It's still you're watching people be like tested and put.
What
to the limit.
season is that on?
Oh my God! There's so many seasons.
Like season 1 million.
I've seen all of them. It's so good. I don't pay attention to them fully, so I can rewatch them at some point. I've watched them a couple times.
That show was on before Fear Factor. So we started Fear Factor in 2001. So that show was probably on in 2000.
Yeah,
And 19 years later,
it's in the 30s now. 30 seasons or something. 33rd, yeah. I'm embarrassed that I don't know it because that's how much I love
is it
the
still
show.
a hit?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Listen, people either are on to Survivor or they're not.
They've actually done 38 episodes per season somehow.
Yeah, they do several a year. Now, is it still Jeff Probst? Is
It's
he
still
the
Jeff
host?
Probst. He's still the host.
He's
It's
still under the radar. Jeff Probst is like, gets those checks and stays warm.
and yeah, but here's the
for
deal.
you,
I've
Jeff.
seen him driving around. He had his little summer fedora. He was riding in his Prius. It was like,
He drives a Prius,
This was like 3 years ago. I saw him driving around.
stockpiling all the cheese.
Yeah, maybe he's
got all
rich
his
dad, poor
cash.
dad.
No, I mean he must have all his money just stocked away. If he's driving around in a Prius.
I love the show.
Maybe
it's
he
so
knows
good.
that they could take this away from him at any moment. Like
They-
if somebody
yeah.
replaced him, would you notice? Is he an integral part of the show?
I think people would be upset.
They would be upset.
People
what
would
if
be
Mario
upset.
Lopez took his spot?
I think people would be very upset. I think they'd be extra upset.
What if Adam Carolla took his spot?
They would get canceled. People would be like, Trump, no.
Is he a Trump supporter?
I think so.
Adam?
I think
Really?
so. But I don't know
he's-
listen, I don't know for sure. I don't want to call anyone anything.
I think he's conservative.
I think he is a Trump supporter, though.
Some people get conservative when they start making money, though.
Everyone has the right to be whatever the fuck they are. I think so.
What about Nazis?
They have more of a right. A third right.
I don't think that's right.
Reich?
What does that even mean? What is Third Reich?
I don't know.
I know what the Third Reich is, but I don't even know what it means. Take a guess. I literally have no idea what that means. I know it means the Nazis, right?
I don't know.
Third Reich. So what does it mean? But isn't that a funny thing? Like that's like Third Reich is like everyone knows Nazis,
Yeah.
but no one knows what the fuck that means.
The etymology.
Yeah, you with the big words.
I know a few.
What does it mean?
Third regime or empire or third realm.
Huh. So the third version of the Nazi party?
First was the Holy Roman Empire, which lasted until 1806. The second would be 1871 to 1918. And this was the third.
Interesting. So they were considering themselves to be the third rulers of the world, like the Romans. Interesting. Yeah, what a mess. And the crazy thing is that was not that long ago.
It was not that long ago.
Not even 100 years
It was
ago.
not that long ago at all.
Have you ever seen the video of Hitler tweaking at the 1936 Olympics?
Twerking?
Tweak. Like speed. He was on serious speed. We were with Brian Moses. Brian Moses was saying that Hitler was into bull semen. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And then we found out that taurine, which is in Red Bull, actually is from bull semen.
Oh my
Look at
God.
this.
That's so fun. That's why I like Red Bull.
Look at this. That's Hitler tweaking.
Oh my God. Look at him
He is
go.
Straight up tweaking at the Olympics. So he was on all kinds of crazy speed. And then we read this thing about how he was like incredibly fatigued and almost dying. And he got injected with testosterone and cocaine and
Wasn't gonna make that dick
oxycodone. Rulers of the world. Interesting. What a mess. And the
Yeah.
crazy thing is that was not that long ago.
It was not that long
not
ago.
even 100
It
years
was
ago.
not that long ago at all.
Have you ever seen the video of Hitler tweaking at the 1936 Olympics?
Twerking?
Tweak. Like speed. He was
Okay,
on
get it.
serious speed. We were with Brian Moses. Brian Moses was saying that Hitler was into bull semen. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And then we found out that taurine, which is in Red Bull, actually is from bull semen.
Oh my
Look at this.
God.
Look at
That's
this.
so fun. That's why I like Red Bull.
Look at this. That's Hitler tweaking.
Oh my God. Look at him go.
Straight up tweaking at the Olympics. So he was on all kinds of crazy speed. And then we read this thing about how he was like incredibly fatigued and almost dying. And he got injected with testosterone and cocaine
Wasn't
and
gonna make that dick
oxycodone.
grow.
And then went and talked Mussolini out of leaving the war. Because Mussolini wanted to get the fuck out of World War II, and Hitler went and just talked at him for 5 hours, just all coked up and oxycodoned out and bull cum dripping with Brian Moses. Brian Moses was
Empire, which lasted until 1806. The second would be 1871 to 1918. And this was the third.
interesting. So they were considering themselves to be the third rulers of the world, like the Romans. Interesting. Yeah, what a mess. And the crazy thing is that was not that long ago.
It was not that long
not
ago.
even 100 years
It was
ago.
not that long ago at all.
Have you ever seen the video of Hitler tweaking at the 1936 Olympics?
Twerking?
Tweak. Like speed. He was
Okay,
on
get it.
serious speed. We were with Brian Moses. Brian Moses was saying that Hitler was into bull semen. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And then we found out that taurine, which is in Red Bull, actually is from bull semen.
Oh my
Look at
God.
this. Look at
That's
this.
so fun. That's why I like Red Bull.
Look at this. That's Hitler tweaking.
Oh my God. Look at him go.
Straight up tweaking at the Olympics. So he was on all kinds of crazy speed. And then we read this thing about how he was like incredibly fatigued and almost dying. And he got injected with testosterone and cocaine and
Wasn't gonna make that dick
oxycodone.
grow.
and then went and talked Mussolini out of leaving the war, because Mussolini wanted to get the fuck out of World War II, and Hitler went and just talked at him for 5 hours, just all coked up and oxycodoned out and bull cum dripping down his throat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did he extract the bull cum?
I don't know, but bull semen apparently has this taurine stuff in it, and they extract taurine from some other method to make the taurine.
That's what the guys at the Pray the Gay Away camp do. That's their
take
their
it right
job.
from the tap.
They're
Suck
extracting
the bull's
it.
dick, you deserve all that.
Well, do you remember? I always think about that horse.
Oh, yeah.
In Zoo, the documentary.
Oh, yeah. That documentary is amazing.
That video of the horse, I'm so and the part that I'm traumatized by is not the fucking part, okay? And do you remember the scene? Okay, so he gets up on the bucket, right? And then, they need like several people to grab this giant horse cock and put it in his ass. And then the horse rams him only once.
Right.
And then he goes, this is the part that got me. He looks back and he goes, "Did he come?" Like he was so concerned if the horse came. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, and the guy made a noise like a noise where you're dying. 'Cause
Yeah,
got fucked
he
to death by a horse.
was. He died so soon after.
And then his friend goes, "Too much? Too much? Like, did you get too much horse
Did you
dick
get
in?"
too much horse dick? And
And
he
if you look
did.
at
He
the math-
died.
If you look at the math, the size of a horse dick,
Oh,
and
I
the
have.
size of a body cavity, like where is it going?
Yeah.
What's getting out of the way to make room for that dick?
Oh boy.
They dropped him off at the hospital,
They rolled him
and
out.
he bled out. He bled out from his asshole, and that's
He
how
died
they,
happy.
I don't think he did.
You don't think he was like, maybe this was worth it? If the horse had come, do you think he would have been worth it? He would have thought it was worth
The
it?
horse did come. But do you know that this whole thing, they had
horse
hundreds
came.
and hundreds of hours of footage of him getting fucked by donkeys and horses and a bunch of other people that these people had met online. And the zoophilia, right, is the medical terminology for someone who's sexually attracted to farm animals. And so, or animals, period. And so these people all met online in some chat room and then decided to get together in Washington State where it was still legal to fuck animals. There's like only a few states where it's okay.
It's so funny that there has to be a law.
Yeah, there has to be a law to keep people.
Are you just so happy that's not what you're into? I'm just like, I just wake up so grateful and blessed. I go, thank God.
Right, could you imagine if that was your
Oh,
your
thank
trick?
God. Thank you.
You can't control that, right? If you get some people are into feet, some people are into fucking
Oh,
horses.
segueing into feet, huh? Yes, people are into feet.
Have you heard?
I've heard they're into feet. I can't believe it. Well, I was reading up on it that it's the part of the brain that handles your genitals and your feet are right next to, they're adjacent. So sometimes they think that the wires get crossed because, and the guy that studied it was a guy who studied phantom limb syndrome. And he was following up on these people's brains where they would feel that they still had a foot or whatever. And some guys would get horny. It would get their brain. So it was just like crossed. They would get horny thinking of their own not foot.
Ew. It's hilarious how you pixelate your feet in all those pictures. It really is funny. How'd that get started?
They started a WikiFeet account for me. I just didn't know if my feet were a thing. I just didn't know. I thought I was just walking around in slides, didn't know I was walking around. I may as well have just have been bottomless. I may as well have just been wearing like pajama bottoms with the ass flap backwards open. My little feet pussies just walking around. So then once I noticed the WikiFeet thing, and then people were DMing me all the time to see my feet, and I just was like, you don't get this.
Have you talked to
Just
Whitney
pixelated them.
about her DMs? Whitney shares DMs with us sometimes.
That's so funny.
A group chat I'm in with Nick Swartzen and Crystalia and Whitney, and she'll post pictures of her DMs. It's like, what in the fuck?
Yeah, they're wild. I do a thing on my podcast and on my live stream sometimes where I sage my pussy at the end of the night.
Sage it?
I get sage and I just to break the negative dick cords that were sent to me. The unwanted dick cords from all these dudes. I'm like, yeah, put your dick
Nice.
cords away.
Nice.
But people are pervs. What are you going to do?
They
I just make
definitely
fun of them.
But it's more guys that are pervs than girls that are pervs with stuff like feet and stuff.
Yeah, I
like,
think
is there
so.
a thing that girls are into that's kind of gross? That,
Money.
Ah!
It's so gross.
But that makes sense. Like, money can keep if you don't like your job.
some people
and
are
you
into,
find
like,
a guy with money.
fat guys. Some people are into, I don't know. People are into all different things, but
but not in the same way.
It's not the same. You're right. It's not the same.
Some guys are into fat girls too, but there's a big difference between that and feet.
Men are just very
Gross.
You're gross, but it's biologically your dicks are just you're just ruled. Your dicks are just dragging you through the world.
Right.
And it's just got to be acknowledged. We can't pretend this isn't a thing.
It's true.
Just dragging you. It's just that's not. We're like breastfeeding and shit. We're thinking about other shit.
In archery, there's a term called front of center, meaning how much weight is in the front of the arrow. It determines like how much penetration the arrow will have on an animal.
I'm getting so horny. This is so weird. What are you talking about?
It's like the thing with dicks. It's like dicks are like your front of center. It's like dragging you forward.
No, they're just. I feel like you guys should be like holding yourselves back through doorways because your dicks are pulling you through things, and it makes life a lot easier when you just realize that. But I think it's like I just have only grown up a girl, so I just didn't. I knew obviously because I've had a lot of sexual attention even very young. But it's just like your dicks are a thing. They're a
there's a
thing.
reason why there's 7 billion people. It's not because it's not necessarily because women are that horny.
Right.
I think it's just dudes are trying so hard to fuck.
I know.
Your body's compelled. I mean, this is an evolutionary thing, and it used to be really hard to stay alive.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
And now it's really easy, and we're kind of left with the burden of this shift.
Yeah,
where
we haven't.
Our brains and our biology hasn't really caught up to the fact that we don't need to have as many people as we used to. We used to have a 50% mortality rate amongst children.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to survive. And I think that's also
That was just in China too.
you're seeing more shifting with, like those guys in that video, these beta guys, the one guy calling out for people to stop being distracting and the other one calling out for people to stop using gendered language. Like, who are they? Well, they wouldn't survive if there was the Roman army was invading. Like, they would have never made it.
I wonder who's fucking them.
Nobody. No.
Maybe they're just men that aren't driven by that,
No, that's not true. That's just as good as they can get. They just genes, circumstances.
They're getting attention and stuff from it.
Yes, it's a mess. They're a mess. This
It's
is
so
just
weird how much
non-survival.
how much of our like caveman shit is still there, and how much of the survival stuff. Like I've been listening to a lot of therapy podcasts. There's just one called The Adult Chair. It's this woman Michelle Chalfant, and it's all about dealing like with your inner child and then all of your instincts. She has like the adolescent chair and the adult chair, and your adolescent chair is all of your ego and your emotions and your fight or flight, like all of that, the stuff that you do, the procrastination, whatever is your problem. Like, why is that happening? There's something that's coming from either your child chair or something from your childhood, or things like socially, when you have social anxiety and panic attacks and stuff. So much of it could be just back from in the days if you were excommunicated from your tribe, like you would die.
Yes.
If you weren't a part of the club, you would fucking die.
Whitney
so
Cummings
we
was
haven't. We're
explaining
still
that to
in
me,
that.
That's the reason why people are afraid of public speaking. Is that when you were speaking in front of a group, you were trying to save your life. You were trying to plead your case, for the most part. Unless you were the leader of the tribe, most of the people were just trying to say, please, I didn't know, and don't kill me.
Was that how you feel walking around?
Me? No. No, but some people...
At the Comedy Store, people are like, merciful king.
No, you know how I feel walking around? I feel like they don't... It's like they don't have anybody... Here's the way to put it. When you are listening to someone all the time, that person's in your ear. That person becomes like a weird part of your life. And then you meet them, and you're like, whoa, it's crazy that you're right here. I've experienced that. When I first met Anthony Bourdain, I was weirded out. I was really right here. It was so weird. And I've gotten used to that over time, but still, it's strange when I meet famous people.
Yeah.
When I meet, and it's even weirder when I meet famous people and they know me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we become famous people together. Like, hi, famous
I know.
person, let's hug it out.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
It's fucking strange.
When two famous people just see, and then you're just you're already in this weird club of famous people.
Mm-hmm. It's strange. Yeah.
Automatically famous people club.
Well, it's not a normal state, and it's not. I mean, and people that enjoy the podcast, and becomes a part of their life, and maybe it benefits them, and maybe they start getting motivated and cleaning up their life and start being healthier and exercising and eating better, and then it becomes this like almost like a religion kind of thing. but because it becomes the thing that you think of, you know, in terms of like how to benefit your life, how to live in a positive way. You think about the things you learned on the podcast almost like you would look at a religious doctrine.
Yeah.
You look at the teachings of Christ, you know, you look at the teachings
Right.
of Moses, or you look at like, oh, what Rhonda Patrick said was
Right.
this. Oh, well, you know, what Graham Hancock was talking
Your
about
voice
that.
is like in their head. You're like a
Yeah.
unhired coach to them in a
There's
lot
a
of
little
ways.
bit of that. It's also represents my own quest to try to figure out my own
Mm-hmm.
life and to do it publicly and explain what I've learned and how I failed and
Yeah.
what I've gotten better at. It helps other people when you hear that because you go, oh, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
alone. Like because people think that if like your life is in order right now, that it's always been like that. So I think it really helps people to hear like, oh, I used to be a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And I did, and I used
Yeah.
to be scared to talk to bank tellers, and it was true.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be weirded out socially. I was very strange.
Now can they hear your voice over the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching? Because you're rich.
Oh, that's in
You're
your
so
head.
rich. You're my richest friend.
Am I?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Probably.
I can't imagine who's richer.
Well, someday you'll be rich too. We'll
I
laugh.
can't wait. We'll
together.
laugh. You have laughed at me before.
Will you get those same kind of glasses but surround them with diamonds? 'Cause
Yeah, I
want
want to get jewels.
I could see those being
How long do you
surrounded
think
with
it's going to
diamonds.
take?
To surround them with diamonds?
Yeah.
You just order them. You don't even think about it because you're too busy doing other things.
I'm so busy.
Yes, so busy. Are you culturally appropriating with those hoop earrings? Because I don't think that's.
Have you
legal
heard my
anymore.
joke about that?
No,
About how I got accused of cultural appropriation for wearing these hoops?
it's hilarious.
Because, but
Who accused you?
my best friend, she's black, but
Oh,
I did
God.
slide them off her neck. She's African. I do want to be a part of her tribe. That's the joke.
That is the craziest shit.
I know. I'm like, this is when you can get mad at the Jenners for cultural appropriation, is when they have the lip plate. You know what I mean? When they
Yeah.
come with the stretched out thing.
Surrey women, yeah.
It's just, cultural appropriation's a weird, I don't know. I think we should all be dressing alike. I think it's cool.
That we all should be.
I think people should be, I mean, you shouldn't be like disrespecting people's culture and stuff, but I don't know what, it just seems like
of what we're calling cultural appropriation today is people looking for a reason to complain.
yeah.
Cultural appropriation is one of the reasons why cities are so interesting because we share each other's food, we share each other's clothes, and listen to each other's music, and wear each other's jewelry. It's nonsense. And what's interesting is like how many people from America are upset about things, but then when people from China or Japan find out that we're wearing Chinese, like Japanese geisha
We
clothes.
also do bukkake. They're so
Yes.
pissed.
No, they like it. They're happy.
But there is, wouldn't you? I
Happy.
feel like there's been times where I've just done stuff online. You know, I'll have a bit or whatever, and then someone else starts doing it, and you get mad at that.
Well, that's different.
Not a
because-
bit, not a joke. I mean, just like a thing I'm doing.
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
different because then you feel like someone's copying you. You know,
But whatever, I just
that
wanna just make
happens all
another
the time.
thing.
But then some people get mad, like, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast. Now he's doing a podcast. So you copying me?" Like, hey, fuckface, you don't own a podcast. That's ridiculous.
I have a
I've
podcast that's
literally
called The
had that
Joe
conversation.
Rogan Experience.
That's fine. I've literally had that conversation with people where they were like mad that now he's doing a podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
stupid? There's 600,000 fucking
Also, it just doesn't
podcasts.
have to do with you. Just
Right.
focus, aim your arrow, bitch. Like, handle your own life. It's so.
With your own shit.
I have lived as a victim for many years. There is a benefit to it because you're always fed it. You know, if you are looking at the world like you're a victim, you will be given everything you need.
Please don't stop using gendered language.
Exactly. You're going to be everyone's going to be disappointing you. Everyone's going to be upsetting you. Or you can just accept some fucking responsibility and it feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It does feel good. Yeah, I mean, it feels good to be calm and to just be at peace. And, you know, there's a lot of work involved in that. You got to meditate. You got to iron out your own stuff. You got to exercise.
It's
You
a
gotta-
work in progress.
Yes, we all are.
I'm fucking trying, man. I'm fucking trying.
I have to wrap this up. If anybody wants to see you, you are at the Comedy Store on a regular basis. You got any other dates?
I'm at the Comedy Store on a regular basis. I'm at the Blue Room in Missouri.
What's the Blue Room?
Let's look it up right
Is it
now.
a
I should
city
have
in
this ready.
Missouri? Or is it just you have to find it in the state? It's a big state. Is there a place?
Let's look it up.
You don't even know where you are? When is this?
It's Springfield, Missouri.
Talking like
It's in Springfield, Missouri.
When is that?
It is not this weekend, next weekend. It is on August 17th and 18th in Springfield, Missouri.
Website?
I do. AnnieLetterman.com.
And Annie Letterman
On Instagram, I'm also at Go Bananas October, the third weekend in October.
Which one?
Go Bananas in Cincinnati.
Beautiful.
The end of October, second to last weekend. I should have all these
Andy
ready.
Letterman.
And my new podcast.
Yes.
Me Inspiration on all things comedy.
What is it called? Me Inspiration?
Me Inspiration, yeah.
Okay. Annie,
Thank you, Joe.
good to see you, my friend. I'll see you
You
at
too.
the store.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Joe.
That was fun.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes.
I mean, I wrote a book about Operation Paperclip, and
Yeah.
my God, talk about a rabbit's hole. you
That's
know?
a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole.
Let's explain to people that don't know what we're talking about. Operation Paperclip was when, after World War II, the United States gathered up a ton of scientists from Nazi Germany, brought them over to America, and even Werner von Braun. They had Werner von Braun run NASA. He was a Nazi, like 100% Nazi.
Good friends with Hitler type Nazi.
Yes, he was. He ran a Berlin rocket factory where they hung the 5 slowest Jews. They would hang them out front so everybody would know, like, this is what happens when you work slow. We'll hang you. I mean, the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if Werner von Braun was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity.
Yes, they would.
And that was the head of NASA. That was the head of NASA. That was the guy who got us to the moon. That was